Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
It is the 7th day of July, 2008. We are live at prisonplanet.tv. For all the prisonplanet.tv members, you'll be able to see the document cam, the video cam, and, of course, the camera on myself. Our guest is Texe Marrs for the next hour and 50 minutes. Coming up later in the second hour with Texe, we will be taking your phone calls. He has an amazing new book, and when I say that, Texe Marrs taught me so much of what I know. Texe Marrs, in the early 1990s, he was already a best-selling author on robotics and a best-selling author on passing the military exams. The best-selling author just on so many fronts. Air Force officer, University of Texas, space and aeronautics professor, a military professor, very well accomplished. Then he found out about the New World Order, and he wrote books in the early 1990s about the RFID chips, the cashless control grid, like Project Lucent. Now it's more cutting edge than the, quote, RFID experts you hear out there, and I'm praising them as well. It's just Texe is really a man before his time. He wrote books and things about nanotech decades before, then it all turned out to be accurate. He exposed the phony evangelists before anybody else was doing it. I mean, he is so prolific. And then I think the best book he ever wrote for information-wise was phone book size. In fact, for prisonplanet.tv members, I'll hold up how big Codex Magica is. This is Mysterious Monuments, which is the twin or the sequel to it. A huge coffee table book. It is just full of photographs. In fact, I'm showing people a screenshot of that right now. The whole thing is just totally jam-packed with thousands of photographs and documents, and we know that the Masonic orders at the higher level are worshiping Lucifer. They say that in their own books. But low-level Masons don't know that. We know that ties into other networks of mystery schools. We know the global elite are obsessed with the occult. And he has the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds' homes and businesses and the devils and demons and satanic spirits they have all over, the totems, the United Nations. His first book that we carry, by the way, when we've got a deal where you can get both of them together, on this subject, which is this big coffee table book, is Codex Magica. This is the second part to that, and I have to say it's my new favorite because I didn't think that anybody could top the lavish nature and it is lavish, how well it's done. You can't put it down. Perfect to wake somebody up. Perfect for the average American who doesn't read because it has a lot of text, but it has so many photos and documents that it keeps you engrossed. But he's done it with this incredible new book, Mysterious Monuments, that we have on your television screen for those of you that are watching on prisonplanet.tv. The Encyclopedia of Secret Illuminati Designs, Masonic Architecture, and Occult Places. Now, what's important to understand is that just like local gang members, the Crips or the Bloods, just like police need to know what those gang signs mean, you need to know what the New World Order gang signs mean. And with Codex Magica and with his newest book, Mysterious Monuments, you will see the symbols they have on TV, the symbols in books, but more importantly, the symbols that are buildings. They believe they're magical talismans, and I've had university professors who are secular on to cover this. They believe they're energizing spiritual power from it. They believe that this is how they control society. Now, whether it's real or not, they believe it's real. And so this is like learning a new language, French or German or Spanish, except this is the elite, high Luciferian language, and it's pretty simple to learn. It's a lot easier than French or German or Japanese or Chinese or Inuit. You, in just a few weeks, can be a expert and have more knowledge than even 33rd degree Masons, because Texe Marrs has gone into all of these mysteries. He's used his scholarly scientific mind to integrate into two books really the whole of their system. And this is knowledge we all need to have when we're fighting the enemy. Texe Marrs, it is just wonderful to have you on.
Well, Alex, it's great to be with you again, and I appreciate what you said about my prior book, Codex Magica. And this really is a sequel, and yet it's totally different. You know, I guess it was Shakespeare who once said that the whole world is a stage. But these people are doing occult magic in plain sight. And I'll tell you, it's very important because people are, you know, every day you come on your program, the Alex Jones Show, with stunning information. But here's what most people need to understand. I believe, that your listeners every day do. This doesn't just come out of a hat somewhere. I mean, you really research it, you document it, you know the evidence, but it is an intellectual thing for many people. And it's hard for them to fathom and understand, even though it's totally documented, it's out there, and you've done the research to bring this to pass. And in everyday chronicles, even your new video, 9/11 chronicles the truth of that. But still, some people find it hard to grasp. And I know I had a friend of mine, a physician, who came to visit me this week, and he said, "Tex, how can I get to my friends the truth of 9/11?" You know, I gave out copies of videos to them, books, and they just laugh at me. They say, "Oh, come on," and he said they don't even want to watch the videos. One of the things that we've done with this book, the Mysterious Monuments, it's not just intellectual truth. It's actually items people can see. Once they read Mysterious Monuments and see over 800 photos of architecture, then they say, "Oh." And once they understand the architecture, at first you just visit Washington, D.C., as I did many years ago, and you say, "How wonderful. Oh, these great buildings of marble and granite and the huge Washington Monument and the goddess above the Capitol, and how lovely." But once you understand the meaning of all this, and then it's not only that, it's not just what was built 200 years ago in Washington, D.C. They're building New World Order architecture that has a meaning for their coming global empire of Satan. This is satanic architecture that represents the occult theological view or vision. And as you said, these are talismans, they're charms. They're creating what they believe is a black magical environment to entrap men's souls. Many people, Alex, wear amulets, necklaces with talismans and charms around their neck. But what if the whole world is full of talismans and charms and amulets? What if it's full of devil architecture? And what if that can be proven as I move through the United States and around the world, proving that there is an architectural colossus? Then everything changes. Now, of course, the critics, the skeptics will say, "Oh, this can't be." And just as they don't want to watch the videos you put out or listen to your program, they're not going to want to look at this book. If they did, it would bother them so much they couldn't stand the pressure. A lot of people just are looking for a comfort zone. They want to party, they want to spend their money, they want to have a good time. But they don't realize they're in great, great danger. They're about to go over the cliff, whether it's economically or a war, but they don't know it if they would research. But here, now we have, in wood, in stone, in metal, in granite, these are real, tangible things proving the New World Order culture.
Now, to be clear, even where they build Memphis or Atlanta or D.C., key cities are even on these ley lines, even the Greenwich Mean Time. Everything they do is part of a giant ritual. They really believe in this. Even if people are atheists out there and don't believe this, they need to know that the globalists that govern the planet are all deep occultists, and there's so much text in this book. For the next hour and 30 minutes or so, I want to go over the book and take calls. And then at the end, I do want to get 10 minutes or so from your Air Force perspective about whether you think they're going to hit Iran, what you think will happen, why the dollar's plunging, where you see things going. I want to get some of your expertise on that, so that's coming up later as well. And for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers, we're going to be skipping some of the breaks on the radio, and you'll be able to see us at PrisonPlanet.tv, continue the discussion also on the internet streams at Infowars.com. But I will give you some breaks during the next 2 hours, Texas. I know that, you probably don't need them, but you might. So we'll take a few of those breaks coming up. But before we go to this first break, Tex, going over this book, you're the expert on this. How should we start in the next hour and a half or so of time that we have to really give people a basic grasp of this?
Well, I think we need to ask ourselves, if there is a satanic architectural colossus going up around the world and even being escalated today, who is behind it? Who is behind it? The second thing is, why are they doing this? If they're designing these things, who are the architects building these monuments, these new skyscrapers, the statues? Why are they doing this, and what kind of occult wisdom are they using? And so this is really who is behind it and why are they doing it, I think, are the two key things we need to look at.